Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from VisualCow657 from the True Off My Chest subreddit and says, I had the opportunity for revenge, but I couldn't do it. This came with an update 11 months later as well. The first part of the post says, I found out a month ago that the love of my life and my best friend have been having an affair for at least the past year. After looking into it more, not only did all of our friends know, but they have also been actively hanging out with them. I'm a socially awkward individual, so making friends for me is hard. I met all of them through my best friend. So I guess it is natural that they chose him over me. I hated all of them. I spent 24/7 with one of them when their parents died because they didn't want to be alone and were a danger to himself. I was there for another when her boss was harassing her and she needed help to find a new job. I let another one stay at my place for free for 3 months because his parents kicked him out when he told them he was gay. All 6 of those arseholes have been through so much and I was there for every one of them. Now I realize they all just kept me around to use me when they needed, including my girlfriend and best friend. I helped the man start his business when no one would invest in him. Still hasn't really taken off and he still asks for my time to help him do things. I've been working day and night to help her pay off the medical bills from her surgery after she had an accident. I've been out of the house for a few months because my mother was sick and I needed to help her, but I still commute back 10 hours every weekend to make sure my girlfriend is doing alright. I've gone through her phone and seen all the pictures, the flirty messages and the group chats, all of them planning outings, meetings and whatnot. I've seen the disparaging messages about me, the I love yous, and them basically flip-flopping between still loving me, leaving me, not wanting to hurt me anymore, and then realizing they need me. They all still need me. I was pissed, and I was so angry I scared myself. The thing about being the go-to guy for help and being the quiet one is that people trust you. They tell you things that can get you in a lot of trouble. I spent the past month preparing my plan, getting everything in order to absolutely implode their lives in a way you can never recover without someone altruistically helping you out. But who will help them? Not me. And they can ask each other because they will all be in the same damn boat. Everything was ready. I had pictures, videos and text logs. The lease would be up in December and I wasn't renewing that. I have a job lined up in which I would pay less, but I know I will enjoy. All my main items were out and the rest I didn't care for. I pretended to go out to my mum's. I waited an hour and came back. I could see them through the windows, him and her cuddling and kissing while they all sat around chatting like it's a regular day. I took a picture of that scene. I was ready to send the texts and emails, basically ready to set their lives ablaze. I couldn't. No matter how much someone has hurt me, I can't be responsible to ruining someone's life. Sure, they did the things, and I was just unearthing them. It would still have been my decision that burned them all, and it would have been collateral damage to people who did nothing. I'd come this far and had to do something. So I just sent the picture in a group chat and looked in. One by one, they checked the message and started panicking, I guess. One of them finally spots my car and I see them all look at me. I don't know what was going on in their heads. Was it panic, regret, guilt, sadness? Who knows? I started my car and as I started driving off, my ex came out barefoot in the cold, moving as fast as she could in her state. I don't know if she was crying because of guilt or regret, but I didn't care. I drove off to my mum. They called me a bunch of times and sent me thousands of messages. I used to read all of them and with each one I felt less for them. It went from asking for forgiveness to anger to groveling, basically to questions about how they would do the things I used to do for all of them. I don't care. I'm getting a new number on Monday. I still get a new sobbing voicemail from my ex every 20 to 30 minutes asking for me to come back. I get text from my ex-best friend to come back and beat him up, that he would sell everything he owns and give it to me. My friends apologizing for their past and wanting to be pals again. I don't know what drives this, but they know I've read some of them. I think I'm over it. I don't feel angry anymore. I feel happy I didn't do what they did to me. It would have never been satisfying for me. I personally liked the way that you handled it in that situation. Yeah, you could have went down this huge explosive route if you really wanted to, but you didn't. And that one picture you sent really showed everything. Of course, it's going to be absolutely devastating for you, and I'm not meaning to downplay that in any way, but you sent them that picture of all of them, your so-called friend group, your best friend, your girlfriend, and whoever else was there, the people that you should have been able to trust most. That picture is a memory of all of them backstabbing you in that moment. And the absolute bunch of cheeky bastards to expect some kind of forgiveness from you. There'd be no way you'd be able to move past that. All these people that have been talking behind your back as a group, your girlfriend, your best friend, all knew, all kept you in the dark, and didn't give a shit till they were all caught. But a user says to OP, that's a level of maturity and self-control that most people don't possess. And with qualities like that, you will draw better people towards you. You've learned your lesson. There are givers and there are takers, and there are those with a healthy balance of both. Onwards and upwards, OP. A friend partner like you is like finding a diamond in today's dating pool. Technical Pumpkin says, I'm sorry that those fake people, ex-boyfriend, ex-friends, betrayed and hurt you that much. Reading your story brings back bad memories and you get me. The fact that you chose to not do what you prepared showed how different you are from those people. They are pests. They can't live without the support of others. You think you didn't get your revenge. How wrong can you be? Their conscience finally wakes up, and right now it's eating them inside. It's good that you already have things for a new beginning, but seeing a therapist can be necessary. Right now you feel a relief, but it's a mirage. It will stop sooner or later, so be careful. The level of betrayal is really high. You should talk about it to be able to exercise that to move on in your life. I really hope you will heal, find peace, and be happy. But don't let them change you. Don't let them win, because the world needs more people like you, who has a heart like yours, who cares about others. Be proud of yourself, because I am. Wish you well. Girl with a dragon tattoo says, I'm genuinely so sorry. I've been in a situation very near this, and I can say the best revenge is to let these miserable humans go and find your own happiness. I used to occasionally hear from them much later. They got stuck in the anger space when I stopped responding, and they all apologized and realized that I'm a good person who had genuine love for them. It's sad for them, but to be honest, it taught me that I deserve the energy I give. Not reciprocation, but reciprocity. It's a weird kind of catharsis that comes with being the bigger person and refusing to dip into the toxicity with them. It sucks, and anger was definitely the easier route, but I had to worry about living with myself in the end, then trying to get back at others. Good luck, and please enjoy your fresh start. You deserve people who care for you as you care for them. And one more comment which says you made the decision you felt was best at the moment. Block all of them on everything and leave them behind. It will drive them insane that you don't think they are worthy of a response or an opportunity for them to explain. The biggest flex will always be that you walked away like none of these people meant anything to you after years of relationships and being their support system, ready to start a new chapter. You'll be the one that is now viewed as someone that isn't going to let people steamroll you, and that will make you a wild card to them, if they ever meet you again. And if you ever meet again in social settings and someone introduces you to them, you can easily go with the, I know, we used to date and that used to be a good friend of mine. I think you can figure out why we don't talk anymore. Please excuse me. It's not revenge and you just excuse yourself away, but it will colour how new acquaintances view their characters, and that warms a little. Save the revenge stuff though. You never know if someone will turn out to be an arsehole because you aren't playing by their rules and letting them explain, so they can feel less guilty themselves. And should you ever be in a position where you could pass a good thing on or facilitate a connection with someone important, etc. for your former friends, don't. Simply don't. I wish you the best in the future. So OP come in 11 months later and said, hi everyone. I happen to remember this account, so I decided why not update you all. First of all, my mum is doing much better and is preparing for a 5k. Her goal is to complete one by 2025. Thank you all for your well wishes. I would like to tell you everything with me is going great and I'm doing amazing. That my ex-friends and girlfriend are doing terribly and are destitute. Life isn't a movie or a storybook and things don't work out the way we would like them to. But it can get pretty close to one. I am doing amazing. My new job has been one of the most fulfilling experiences of my life. Since I stopped paying for unnecessary medical bills and rent for a place I never really cared for, I've saved up so much money. I decided to finally invest that money in something worthwhile. Myself. I didn't hit the gym or anything, but I did get some work done on my teeth. They had some minor discoloration. When they shaped it for a crown and removed the layers, it looked like it was painted with Pepsi or something. It was a boost in confidence. I started buying more and more clothes and building outfits. I started anti-anxiety meds, which have brought me out of my shell. I feel so much better. I met someone a few weeks ago. We've just been talking through text and it seems to be going well. I don't really know what's going on with the people I left behind. I heard rumors that came from a long chain of people, so don't trust them really. My ex and ex-best friend are having a baby, which has caused financial issues for them with a medical debt and struggling business venture, but are somehow making it work. The girl whom I helped get a job was caught in an affair with her boss. He may or may not be married, it's unclear. Who threw under the bus professionally to save himself, but seems to have landed on her feet because the company wanted to avoid a scandal. Another one of them has gotten engaged to his girlfriend. Last I remember he was single, so don't even know how long they've been involved. The one I housed for 3 months is doing fine as well, but may have gotten an STD from one of his one-night buddies. I have no information on the last dude. So a mixed bag of good for me and a little bad for them, but not terrible. Just normal life issues. It's as close as one gets to karmic justice, I guess. The last contact I had with my ex was an email 6 months ago. She detailed about how sorry she was about the fallout of her actions. She just fell in love with him while still loving me and didn't really know how to proceed from there. It was a bad time for her as she relied on me so much that made her get resentful, and something about being with him made her feel in control. She ended it with how much she regrets her action and the hurt she caused, but she doesn't regret loving me or him, and that she still loves us both and will always be here if I need her. I never responded because there was no need. I can understand her perspective in this. Doesn't mean I condone her actions, but I can somewhat forgive her and move on from this permanently. Humans are complex, and so is love. Sometimes we hurt the ones we love the most. While I don't like her or her actions, I do believe she loved us both. She doesn't seem to have any reason to lie. Anyway, c'est la vie. Have a good evening, guys, and don't spend your energy getting upset or anything on my behalf. I don't think there's too much to be angry on your behalf about now, because it sounds like you are doing wonderfully. It sounds like there may be a relationship in the future and you're just doing great in general. I think she was taking the piss with her email, to be honest, in my opinion, but in the end, it's making no difference to OP's life anyway. They can understand, love is love, and, she did love OP, which, is possibly true. OP says he still doesn't like her. It's not going to change anything with their relationship. OP's just moving on and living their best life, which, as always, we always say is the best form of revenge. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Fat Ninja Throwaway from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit, and says, Am I the arsehole for refusing to have Halloween with my family for years after they screwed me over on this holiday years ago? As the title says, this happened on Halloween. I'm 25 male, and 5 years ago, my parents wanted to go to my sister's house for Halloween. At the time, I was still living with them, and I wanted to go to a party a friend was hosting. But my parents were adamant that I go with them because they wanted us all to be together. I still wanted to go to my friend's party, and my parents suggested a compromise in which I go to my sister's party first, then my friend's. I figured it couldn't hurt to do both, so I agreed since I liked helping my nephews with trick-or-treating. And that year I was wearing an inflatable ninja costume I was really eager to have fun in. Well, I was ready and waiting in the costume for hours, and by the time we finally took the kids out, most houses stopped giving candy and there was hardly anybody walking around. And we only went around the block, that's it. Then when I wanted to go to my friend's house, my parents guilted me into staying because they needed me as a designated driver. I would have driven them home first and then gone to my friend's party, but my parents just kept drinking and refused to leave. So I lost out on going to the other party and cussed my parents out for making me miss it and not even being able to enjoy my Halloween. They just said that it was too late, and what could they do about it? They didn't even attempt to make it up to me. I refused to speak with them later, So they confronted me and I said I didn't even want to look at them because they broke their promise. Then I said that unless they could somehow pull a new Halloween party with all my friends out of their asses, then they had completely screwed me over. Then I left before they could say anything else to me. My friends were nearly as upset as I was. But my sister told me off and said I was callous because she had wanted me there. Ever since that year, I only spent Halloween with my friends. This year, my parents begged me to go with them to my sister's instead. I asked why and they wanted me to drive them. So I refused and said they just wanted a designated driver. And they'd already screwed me over before and didn't even attempt to make it better back then. And I didn't just want to sit around watching them get drunk, with the only really highlight being helping kids trick or treat. I hung out with my friends and we had a blast with a farmyard party. But my sister called me up on Monday furious at me because our parents were pulled over on their way home and got a DUI. And this would never have happened if I had driven them. And now most of the family is pissed at me. So am I the arsehole for refusing to drive my parents to my sister's house for Halloween because of something they did 5 years ago? Absolutely not the arsehole in any way, shape or form. They got a DUI because of their actions. They're the ones who chose to drink and drive. That's totally on them. And I can't believe anyone else is looking at it in any other way, that you're getting blamed for not driving them. You know, they're adults. They're your parents. They're making the choices. And it just sounded like they were pulling the same bullshit. It wasn't just about, being a designated driver. They wanted you to take the kids out trick-or-treating at the same time. And as well as you enjoy it, it's annoying to have that expectation just put upon you because they can't be asked to do it. First commenter said to OP, so hard not the arsehole. You're 25, do what you want. You're not responsible for your parents and your sister is an enabler. I'm an expert here because I've had a DUI that I got after leaving a party. You know who was responsible for that choice? Yeah, me. Literally no one else. I'm the one who made a bad choice. Ugh. Your whole family is the arsehole here, not you. Please Call Me Rain says, while you were 100% not the arsehole for anything your parents did, you're weirdly bitter about a party you missed as a 19-year-old dude. You're an adult. You chose to stay. Nothing was stopping you from leaving. You need to recognize that you're responsible for your own choices, something your family doesn't seem to be good at. Opie says, no, I was stopped from leaving because I couldn't take my parents' vehicle. We rode together and they refused to let me just borrow their car and come back. The bitterness is because they lied to me, then showed no remorse that they did. Elsewhere says, this is weird. Have they just done it on these 2 Halloween parties or do they do this at other times? Why didn't your sister drive them or sister's partner if they're in the picture? If she has kids, there surely had to be a sober adult there. Obviously it's not your fault your parents drove drunk, not the arsehole. Opie says they've drove drunk several times. I didn't mind driving them some places, but then they wanted me as a designated driver all the time. And they only wanted me to drive their car, not mine. So I made it clear to them that I wouldn't be their driver if I had plans, which I did. So Opie updates in the same post and says, my sister and her husband spotted my post a few days after I made it and called me. My sister said she's ashamed of herself and now sees my point of view. At first she was furious I made the post, but her husband chewed her out for not ever sticking up for me because he really had no idea my parents treated me this badly. And after they both read the comments, she realized how toxic this whole dynamic was. At first she blamed it on the stress of being a mother, but quickly took that back and said she really has no excuse for never considering me in these situations. We talked and she remarked how I've always loved Halloween ever since I was a little kid, and she let my parents ruin it for me that day 5 years ago, even though she knew about the promise they broke. The conversation got pretty emotional and she apologized heavily because she had put the blame on me, when she was the one who let our parents drink and drive year after year. I've got more details now and my mother is actually the one who got the DUI. I'd assumed our father, but he apparently was so wasted that he was on the verge of passing out and pretty much did as soon as he was in the car. Our mother insisted that she was okay to drive and then ran a red light. That's how a cop spotted her and she was arrested. The car was impounded and our father was escorted home by the police to sleep it off. He woke up with a raging hangover and a temper to match, then took it all out on my sister over the phone, and she in turn took it out on me. Our mother had her license suspended. The car cost them $600 to get out of the impound, and both of my parents were putting this on me. until we all ganged up on them for what they'd been doing. Our father fought us every step of the way, but we made it clear they've been putting their alcoholism above everything else, and we're tired of it because there's been a lot of broken promises from them all around. Our mother promised to do better, but our father just stayed silent and wouldn't make eye contact with any of us. Things are tense now, but I'm glad my sister is finally on my side in all of this. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. Truly, it's absolutely amazing. And I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay, I know that today